Hi, my name is James Haber, and I'm a producer on SimCity. SimCity, sure, it's a little more slow-paced and a little more of a thinking man's game, but I think it's a really refreshing thing to have out in this day and age where all the games are fast-paced and you have shooters and action sports games and things like that. I think people really appreciate these more strategy games. I think there's a lot of fans of SimCity, both SimCity 4 and SimCity 1, way back. And I think this will be a really refreshing experience for them to come back. I mean, one thing I really like about SimCity when I play it is that I can sort of pick it up and put it down, and it's right there when I leave it, and it's not like something I can do it if I have a couple minutes or a couple hours. It depends on how I want to play. There's a lot of great new features to this new SimCity. There is our glass box simulation engine, where everything in the game is simulated down to the smallest little detail. And we also have this model-like world where you can really get in up close and personal and see the detail of the simulation and see what's going on, which I really enjoyed doing. And then in this SimCity, you don't just play a single city, you actually play multiple cities within a region, and those cities will interact with each other. We call this multi-city play. And it really adds a sort of new dynamic and a new way to play the game. And as a first for the series, it's now a multiplayer game. So you can actually collaborate or compete with others on things like achievements and leaderboards and things like that. And finally, SimCity is now a live service, so we can simulate real-time events and simulate and respond to how the community is playing the game with challenges and new features and things like that. Right now what we have is rewards for challenges or exclusive achievements for each of those challenges. And so that's what you'll get for sort of placing in the top percentage of players who interact in that challenge. But they're really optional. You don't have to do them if you don't want to. It's more there for players who want them. And again, the same goes for the multiplayer. If you just want to play by yourself in your own region solo, you're perfectly welcome to do that. We're not trying to force you to play multiplayer. It's more there as an option for players who want it. I mean, I would suggest that everybody tries it out because I think that they'll really enjoy it. I think that the challenges especially, they'll sort of see how that lets them experience the game in a new way. And because you can have multiple saves and multiple regions that you're playing, you could have your main region that's sort of your core region that you're trying to really do whatever you want in, and then go try the challenge in another region. I really encourage people to try it because I think they'll really find it fun and understand why we're so excited about it. One of the main ideas behind multi-city play was the idea that in the real world, cities don't just exist in a bubble without having any other cities around them or any other effect on the world. But actually what they do is affect other cities, and the choices they make actually will influence other cities around them in their area. And we wanted to bring that into SimCity because we felt like that was really a key part of being a mayor and being somebody who runs a city. And with multiplayer, we actually give you new ways to engage with the game. So whether it's competing on the leaderboards and trying to sort of top your friend in a certain way of playing, or engaging with the challenges that really let you take a new perspective on the game and might allow you to engage with it in a totally new way. I mean, these are just new ways for players to engage with the game. And I wouldn't say that we were forcing them to play the game in any certain way. You certainly can play a region completely solo. You can play it all by yourself. And we have regions all the way from like 2 cities if you want to play that more intimate, up to 16 cities. And you can also, it is a sandbox game, so you can sort of do whatever you want to do. You don't have to go down any of the paths that we've laid out for you. In fact, I wouldn't say we've really laid out paths, more like opportunities for you. Having that multi-city play allows you to sort of put some of your resources in one city and other services in another city, so you can really just be creative in that third city if you want. People will try to rebuild their hometowns. I can't wait to see what they do and how successful they are at it. And I think while it will be, an approximate simulation of what that town is like in our game, by no means is it like this is exactly what would happen if this real world made this decision. I mean, that was not necessarily, again, we were trying to make it a game first. As to whether people will use that as a way to send a message, I don't know, we're just the paper that they're writing on, and what they write on the paper is up to them. And we know modding is very important to our community. And Glassbox was built with the idea that modding can be very easily adapted into it. But with that said, right now we're just shipping the game. We're just trying to finish the game, and we'll be looking into mod support in the future. I think what's different about SimCity, the SimCity development team, is that our scripting team is really a little more involved with sort of the core mechanics of the game in a different way because of the way Glassbox works. So Glassbox is our simulation engine. It's actually a very simple engine that has like a little scripting interface on top of it. And we have a lot of designers, and they reference a lot of real world city planning books and websites and things like that to see like how do city planners really look at how you plan a city or how you build out a city. And we certainly use that as inspiration for the game. But you know, there's no hard and fast rule of like we have to obey every rule of the real city planning, because you know it's a game. We want it to be fun. We want it to be challenging, and so there's a lot of inspiration there. I mean, my favorite example, which I say all the time, is when we talk about how far Sims will walk to get to their bus stop is based on real urban planning data that people will walk 400 meters instead of drive. So if there's a sim within 400 meters of a bus stop, based on how they walk, then they'll walk there instead of driving.